Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the language of big business. Today we're diving into STEELCASE's latest quarterly report, a company known for its office furniture. But don't worry, this isn't just about chairs and desks. We're actually looking at how a company navigates the changing world or doesn't. Before we get started, if you appreciate these types of corporate deep dives, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our amazing community on Discord. The link is in the description below. STEELCASE just dropped their Form 10Q, which is their quarterly report, basically a check-in to see how the year is going. The period we're looking at covers the 3 months that ended in May. Let's get right into it. Overall, it paints a picture of progress, but also shows some worries and adjustments that STEELCASE is dealing with, so let's take a look. First, the numbers. STEELCASE is reporting revenue. That's sales of 779 million overs. That's good. It's up from $727.37 in news and dollars and $30 million over year from the previous year's numbers, which is positive news. However, looking closer, some things are not quite as great. For example, their gross profit, meaning the profit they have left over after taking off the cost of making the items they sell, stood at $263.8 million versus $234.4 million. That's not as of a jump as a revenue increase on its own. Is STEELCASE being wasteful? Not necessarily. All of that is wrapped up in something called operating expenses, so let's examine that. The report shows operating income earnings after deducting other costs at $25.5 million compared to $17.6 million. While higher, that's not terribly great. What's actually impressive is comparing adjusted operating income, ignoring some of the one-off events that influence the company. That's quite high at almost $40 million. Finally, the always popular earnings per share. The actual profit that is attributed to single share of equity rose from 9 cents to 11 cents on both basic and diluted, meaning the share that includes things like options. Let's look at where STEELCASE is making its money. Most of the sales are in the United States at $560.4 million, which is a big jump from $513.6 million versus $214 million. The report also touches on deposits from customers. Basically, some customers pay in advance and the company has to account for those payments. The balance in customer deposits increased to $54 million. This means demand and incoming revenue is likely to be seen in the next quarter. It appears the company isn't doing its best to control a variety of non-income elements related to cash flow, because we can see numbers around derivatives and currency and hedge income and loss are all over the place in assay, as they call it. This may sound a little complicated, but STEELCASE uses things called performance units to pay its employees. It's a type of stock option. I won't get into accounting too deep, but they need to account for all of that somewhere, which is where all those numbers about assumptions come from. It's very technical. This isn't super important for us. Checking on inventory, how much stuff they plan to sell. STEELCASE has inventories valued at $286.6 million, which is up from $245.7 million in the previous quarter. Seems appropriate as they scaled up for the quarter. Let's shift gears to the segments Americas and International. The Americas continued to lead the way with revenue of $603 to $603 last year. International segment showed only minor growth with $175.4 million last year. International segment showed only minor growth with $75.4 million. So most progress is really from the Americas, it seems. This makes certain decisions by management stand out, but more on that in just a bit. Now, something interesting and maybe a bit concerning. STEELCASE has started restructuring. Actions, basically, steps to try and reshuffle things to improve profits. But note where STEELCASE is initiating these restructuring. It's mostly in the Americas region, the one place revenues are growing at almost double digits. Weird. It almost sounds to me that it's a cost reduction effort where people are being let go to save money. Doesn't necessarily mean the company is in distress, though. Rather, it seems to be shifting directions. In a way, it is taking this progress in the United States for it to then deploy into other areas. The report notes various market risks, including foreign exchange, interest rates, and commodity prices. A company also uses what are called derivative financial instruments, fancy term for hedging bets, to minimize the risks of money going up and down when dealing with international money movement. Finally, let's talk about a company favorite, share repurchases. They bought back some shares, mostly to cover obligations from their stock-based compensation plans. It cost them about $5 million for $400,000. Nothing impressive or worrying about this. It's unlikely that there will be a greater buyback than that, since the company just completed a large financial optimization. Alright, we've been through the numbers, the sales, where the sales are happening, and what STEELCASE says is gonna happen. Let's put it all together. Steelcase is improving, that's obvious. It's making better money at a faster pace, and it's beating inflation by a wide margin if you consider its 7% growth. While it's also cutting costs, however, the big warning sign I spotted is it has a big opportunity in the Americas, from where most of its revenue is coming. At surface glance, the balance sheet looks pretty stable. Overall, Steelcase seems to be in a decent position, but the interesting thing is that it appears to be that some cost savings are coming, and that means they may need to change more radically than they intended. It makes me wonder if it's in position to pivot to new demands and customer preferences. I, for one, am not feeling optimistic, especially because this company seems to love using jargon in their shareholder reports. Not a good sign. What do you think of a stock pick of Steelcase? Comment below. Also, don't forget to check out the Discord channel. Thanks for watching, and hit subscribe for more corporate deep dives.